Hello and welcome back to the Reapers. So we have another tactical debrief for you, one I'm not looking forward to do but has to be done. It was last night's mission, and last night's mission was the red versus blue, and blue got absolutely trounced. It's one of these rare days where not only did we lose, but we all of our flights failed basically. Usually at least one of the flights gets through, but this one was a bit of a nightmare. So, it's important that we put emotion aside now and just go straight back to basics with empiricism and logic, see what went wrong, learn from the mistakes and carry on. So, what we'll do is we'll set it underway. In fact, before we do that, just a rough reminder what the mission was, especially in case you didn't see it. So, blues have a base, I think the base is there. We had several targets to attack. I think one was that convoy, ship convoy there. I think one was there as well. What else did we have? There's also some... there they are. There's also ground convoy. These guys had to be killed on the ground. And I think that was it. So, the plan was to have a flight of 4 Vigans to kind of go around the outside here, along the ground, out to sea, and then take out, I think, these ships here. Also to send a flight of A-10s to take out these guys here. Also another pair of A-10s to take out to help with the shipping. And a cap cover F-15 group we plan to just basically fly towards the baddie base and just engage the hostiles as they were coming out of their base basically, and just keep them busy away from the various ground attack flights. None of that worked, so let's go through and see why that didn't work. I should say the Reds also had objectives. I didn't listen to the red briefing, so I don't know what the red objectives were. I think one was around here somewhere. For some reason we can't see it. I think it was like a power station or something. And one was, I think, in our base. But like I said, I didn't pay too much attention to their briefing. As well as that, there are numerous radars they have in EWR here, so they can see everything we're doing. Basically, they have an AWACS up here. No, they don't. What is that? Yes, that's an AWACS, isn't it? That's an AWACS. So they can see what we're doing, and we have our own AWACS, I think, there, so we can see the majority of the battlefield as well. So let's scroll through to the first bit of action and see what happens. Okay, we'll stop it there. So we can see what's going on. So the Vigan flight is making its way along the deck out here, which is pretty good. It's a damn good way of making sure they don't get into trouble, because they've got cap cover here and they're so far away from the hostile base there's very little chance they're going to be intercepted and or seen. Well, they probably will be seen. The Reds can see everything with AWACS and EWR, but you know, there's very little chance of attack out in the open here. Note that Tender's taking off late to join us, but he joins back up with our crack group. The blue cap group, our task was to get to the coast here and then head down the coast as to intercept the red guys when they were out in the open, so they couldn't have the mountains to hide. So what I think we'll do is just follow it flight by flight. So first we'll go for the Vigans and have a look at them. So yeah, lovely trajectory. So even if the Reds had come out to intercept these Vigans, they probably wouldn't have reached them in time. They're moving at a good 500 knots away from the red base all the time with cap cover there. So just speed it up. So they've gone right out to the flank here, probably a good 80, 90, 100 miles away from the red base, which is very nice. And here's where they made the error. Well, I assume it's an error, but they decided to go for this group, the battle group, instead of the cargo group. Obviously the battle group was heavily defended, so I don't know why they did that, but I guess it was on purpose. I don't really know. But this would have been a much better target. This is a much softer target that only has small AAA to defend it. This has Grumble missiles, and you can see there Grumble's going up already. Let's have a quick look at that. Yeah, so over 30 miles Grumbles are firing on the deck. Shows how powerful those missiles are, more powerful than anything an aeroplane carries. They do well though. They get all of their missiles off, which is no mean feat. If you've watched my tutorials on using the RB15, it's not easy to use. Especially if you're not only using this plane once a week or less than that. Obviously, it was a completely wasted exercise because the Grumbles had shot all of the missiles down, as you can see, all of the RB-15s down before they were within 20 miles. So, yeah, that's that. What's the moral there? I guess just don't attack a battle fleet. Battle fleets are stupidly overpowered, and nothing can get through their protective sphere of Grumbles. I've thrown, just to mess around, I've thrown B-52s, 10 B-52s, all firing 6 Kingfishers or whatever they are, I forget, Exocets or whatever they are, anti-ship missiles, all at once, and still they all got shot down by the Grumbles. So they are, a battle fleet like this is invincible, unless you're using some kind of ballistic missile, which is going to come from the sky, Mach 10. Otherwise, they are invincible. Don't bother attacking them. Everyone's just a waste of time. Right, so that's that, Vigans. That was a shame, but there you go. They couldn't go back home at that point because our base had been taken by the Reds, which is just weird. So they went and landed at a neutral base. So that's them done. Now let's go and have a look at the A-10s. Right, so I forget the name of the group, but here is the group assigned to take out the convoy, the ground convoy here. I've just noticed the ground convoy has got Zeus 23, so it's actually an exceedingly well defended convoy. So even if they did get there, they would have had to have used standoff weapons to kill it. Anyway, so they're moving along, they're doing nothing wrong, they're just going straight to target. We were just hoping, we were hoping that the Reds were going to come up and fight our cap, but they didn't. Instead, they were very sneaky and had a very good tactic. What they did instead was go run through the canyons, lovely formation, super low down to the ground, so none of our EWR could pick us up, and popped out here and attacked our guys head on, and obviously they didn't stand a chance. So let's just see how that went. Now, I remember from the mission yesterday, that was when the GCI, our controller up in the AWACS, spotted the first one here, 24 miles away. So let's see how, I haven't watched this yet, so let's see how quickly our guys react, because it's essential when these guys hear that there is a flanker coming towards them at 24 miles, they turn away immediately. So let's see what actually happened, because they shouldn't have got shot down, but if you look at the SAM net here, they should have had plenty of time to turn around. I had a quick look on map during the match. They should have been able to turn around and get into SAM net and safety. So we're just going to see what actually went wrong. Let's just speed up a little bit. Yeah, they turned around straight away, so they did nothing wrong. That's proper tactics. And those A-10s, Tail dumps his bombs and turns around. That's all good. Elo's going the wrong bloody way. So at least Cephal's got it okay. And you can see the mistakes starting to happen here. You can see Elo has turned around, but he's gone the wrong way. He's heading towards, well, the hostile base, basically, so that's a mistake. Seethor is heading the right way, and he's got his speed up. He should be able to make it out. Tail has turned back into the enemies. Again, a mistake. He's going to get shot down. So we can see how things could quickly go so easily wrong when the team isn't communicating properly. As soon as they got that side 24 miles away, they had time to turn around and go back. You've got to get that discipline. This isn't going to end well, is it? So it looks like Tail is turning back finally. Maybe not. No, he's not. I guess he's going in to engage. If he's going into engage, he shouldn't be complaining that he got shot down so quickly then, because that F5 easily had time to turn around at 25 miles and just run away. Obviously he's going to get shot down if he goes and tries to fight a bunch of flankers. Right, so lost a man already. Guess who that's going to be? Yep. So that is Wolf Shadow, and so Wolf Shadow was coming within 5 miles, perfect time to shoot, and he shot, but he shot his bombs instead of missiles and bombed himself. So yeah, go figure. But we've got experience, we've got Udarosa and Raptor in, they're not going to make the same mistake. In they come, missiles away, 5 miles, and that is a dead Tail. On the deck, 5 miles, the flanking target, that is a kill shot. All the missiles have failed. You see, they were travelling very low, and that's how they beat the radar and got so far. However, when you fire your missiles really low, especially long-range missiles, they hit the ground. They have to drop about well, I don't know how far, several hundred feet before they engage the rocket motor. So they've all hit the ground. So that's given Tail some respite. Oh, it's too late though, he can't get away. Elo's still going the wrong way. And it's just a matter of time now. Udorosa's got a bit more altitude now. He can just take the shot whenever he likes. And I don't know why Tail's going so slow as well. Under 400 knots, he's just cruising, saving gas. This is not time to save gas. This is time to be weapons off and supersonic. So I have to say, Tail's done everything wrong. So it's the thing, you can't blame the mission when you guys aren't flying right. He's got very lucky though. Udorosa's completely lost situational awareness on him, probably because of the distance of the radar and the small cross-section of this jet. Udorosa's only managed to get a lock on the A10, so he's got some respite. However, Raptor is not making the same error. It's picked him up on Fleur, I suspect. 3 miles on that is definitely a kill shot. Nothing Tail could do about that. And it's tailed down. So yeah, that was an error. Wow, look at that R73. Shows us a stupidly overpowered these R73s. It's done an 80-degree turn. Look at that. This is why you don't get anywhere near a flanker. If you're fighting a flanker, you keep him at 10 miles away and you never get any closer. Otherwise you will be killed. Right. So Elo's just, well, I don't know. They just haven't made enough distance. I mean, Seethor was going the right way all the time. I guess maybe they just couldn't get away. They didn't have enough speed. And this is why A10s simply don't work in these competitive matches where you've got red versus blue, where red is doing everything they can to kill you. A plane that can only go 300 knots just cannot survive this in this kind of environment. We've just got no tactical use for them. You can't get to the target quick enough. You can't get out of the target quick enough. And more importantly, you can't run away, which is why I never be the A10. I be the Viggen. The Viggen, wherever they're gone, if they get in this trouble, the Viggen can turn around and burn far away faster than any other plane in the world can. Pretty much. A10s can't do this. You're just a sitting duck and you're really just expected to die. So again, I got no sympathy for A10 players moaning that they're getting shot down. It's all their own fault. We've been through this enough times and I'm just not going to bother with it anymore. Good shot from Udorosa. You can see he had plenty of lead on his shot. Too much lead actually. Way too much lead. Strange shot actually. As Nitisa as a kill shot, obviously at 5 miles away he shot. That's actually too far away to get a kill from a cold target. However, it's a slow moving target. When the target's a slow moving target, everything changes. You could probably have shot it from 8 miles away or something. It's when you're fighting an F-15 or something of equal speed, that's when the rules are different. He did evade it where he just ran it into the ground at the end of the day. Dropped all his bombs and stuff. He's doing all the right stuff, doing well, surviving. Plenty of countermeasures. Udorosa's lost situational awareness. He's bombed in there at 700 knots. He's actually put himself in trouble by going so fast. And Elo's going to get a shot at him by the looks of it. Elo's an absolute killer in an A10. Doesn't really care if he's killing friends or foe, but he's an absolute killer. And that's a missile out 2.3 miles. If that was on another A10, that would be a kill. If it's on a 700 knot flanker, it's not going to get anywhere near. As simple as it is. On a cold target with an AIM 9 of equal speed, it's about 2 miles. And this plane here is even higher speed, twice as fast as the A10. So these aren't going to get anywhere near, unfortunately, because it would have been nice to see him taking him down. It looks like, in fact, yeah, I know what's happening. So Udorosa's mission, I think, wasn't to kill these guys. It was just burn through at 700 knots, which he's done spectacularly. And he's bombing a target, I think, around here. I never got an idea of what the target was, but bomb a target on the base. Now you can see they're well within the 50% range of the SAM site. So the SAM, these guys should be dead, but for some reason the SAMs weren't firing today. I don't know if it's because it was so low. It may be that, but I don't know. An SA-11 I think would be firing, so there were some problems with the SAMs. Obviously guys shouldn't be able to fly in and just attack the base in a flanker. Forgot to say Raptor shot down our tanker, so yep, so be it. A10s have done everything right. You got a shot there from Seethor. Again, it's too far away, so Didn't even bother. We're going to fast forward, I guess, next. So he's over the base. He's looking for his target. I don't know what his target was in there. Into more SAM sites. It's amazing he hasn't been fired on. Guess, maybe it's just his lowness. I don't really know. Comes back. So he spots the target on the first one, turns in a 270-degree turn, and perfect bombs. Whatever it was he killed, he got a perfect kill on them. So super flying from Udorosa there. Really mission focused. Came in, he fired at some bad guys, but he was focused all the time on getting the bombing done. Didn't get distracted with the A10s, just zoomed right through them. Had the confidence in his jet to go through them. Really good. So that's all good. Now things start getting a little more complicated. So we've got these two guys here. Also, Reds had Su-30s, which you see two coming in here at full pelt. These were controlled by AI, not controlled by humans. Pretty deadly as well, to be honest. So Udorosa has now done his job. He's now burning out. A little criticism. I don't even know if it's criticism, but what I'd expect from the Reds at this point, once they've done their mission, is to head back. Not to tangle in dogfights. I always find getting involved in dogfights is kind of for children and should be avoided at all times. What I like to see is a mission, drop your bombs, and then, if possible, fly home. That would be the optimum ending for a mature player. That's what I try and do with my guys, but often that goes wrong as well. But, so that's what I'd like to see. A couple of ETs out from the flankers. I didn't see the Rangers, but they're on slow-moving A10, so pretty much any Ranger is going to kill these A10s. And the A10s won't get any warning, I don't think. They're just going to get pow, one down. It's a bit of a turkey shoot at this point. Pow, two down. No fault of the A10s, it's just wrong place at the wrong time. Poor old, oh god, and it gets really ugly now because poor old Riddle and Merlin, who had literally just taken off the runway, already got R-77s coming in. These are Fox 3 missiles, who'd only get some warning when they're close. Let me have a look. So poor old Riddle, 5 miles, has already been Fox 3, so he's a dead man. There's literally nothing he can do about that. Which is why he's so angry, because he waited all week to come to this mission. Annoyingly for him, if he turned up on time and taken off with the others, he'd be perfectly safe. He'd be out to sea now, bombing cargo ships. But because he turned up late, he literally started when the base was being attacked. So, but that is a criticism we had of the mission now. Under no circumstances should a blue or red base, unless it's specifically set for some reason in the mission, be swarmed by opposing players. That's what we call base camping, and that's how you piss people off, and that's how you lose players out of your group. It's incredibly important to have the bases completely secure, either with a no-go geographical line, so the Reds can't come across, or an extremely harsh SAM net of SA-11s and Rolands here to make sure these guys can't come in and just do this stupid killing. That's how you like I said, piss people off, and you'll lose players and you'll lose your group. So essential that you don't allow this kind of thing to happen. Anyway, it happens. So that is going to be Riddle dead. Another ET going in. I don't know what that was for, but these guys are just going to get ploughed by ETs now, presumably. The R-73, there's no dodging that. Oh, we've only got an AIM-9 out. That's good. Oh, look, it almost killed as well. Haha, so close. Pow and pow. Like I said, there was no real chance of them doing any damage, but never mind, boys. Wrong place at the wrong time, I'm afraid. So at full speed there. Yeah. So Merlin's still alive. Udorosa's back into the conflict. Like I said, I don't like it how they stick around and try and dogfight. They should be. I just prefer a bit more mature flying, of just flying home and completing the mission. But maybe, I don't know. It's just me, I suppose. Right, submerge, and this is actually a pretty much a fair fight here. Strangely enough, the A10 is almost better than the SU in some ways. When you get this close, the A10 could be pummeling missiles. That said, the A10 is probably damaged from that shot, and that's probably why it's not shooting. That shot's gonna miss surely. Wow, look at that, and it's a hit. So this is why you can't get close to a flanker. Look, I mean it's not a solution. It's simply not a solution. Let's have a look at the aspect difference. It's pretty much, so we've got this, so the hostile is that aspect, the flanker is that aspect, so what's that? That's about 70 degrees. So 70 degrees at, it's pretty much supersonic. At Mach 1, that missile can turn that 70 degrees plus it's had to go about 90 degrees because it's had to put in front of this thing, 90, 100 degrees, and slam into that plane. That's incredibly impressive. Really hard to fight against missiles like that, which is why the old saying, just don't get close to a flanker ever. Look at that. No other plane could have done that. Very nice. Yep, so that's that done. Completely wiped out. So there's a couple of mistakes. Tail made a mistake, obviously, that we talked about. A-10s didn't make any mistakes. They were just wrong place, wrong time, without any cap cover. So yeah, that's what happened. And then the Reds, I think they came and landed at our base, which was a bit silly again. That base should have been bristling with SAMs. They shouldn't be able to fly around freely. Anyway, been through that. So let's go and have a look at the cap flight now. So we could argue then the cap flight. Where are they? There they are. So oh no, they're not. Where are they? There they are. You could argue that the cap flight weren't doing their job right. You could argue that maybe 2 of them should have been over here, and 2 of them should have been over here protecting the A-10s. I don't know. I don't particularly like splitting into pairs if possible, but maybe that's what should have been done to make sure both groups were protected. So, never mind, an error in the tactics, I guess. Right, so let's follow the cap flight out. Off we go. Nice relaxing flight. We had no idea these guys were coming through the canyons, obviously. We did see this guy on our AWACS, and we assumed that was going to be all of them coming out to attack us. So what we did was displayed off to the right to give us some more space to get out, to come down the coast. It's prudent to make sure we fight these flankers over the coast. Therefore, it doesn't give them barriers to hide behind. If you fight them over the mountains, that's flanker territory. Flankers will then hide in the mountains, essentially like they're designed to do, and lure you into close range. As soon as you get close range in a flanker, you're on their terms. You want to keep the fight on F-15 terms, which is out in the open. That's what the F-15 is designed to do. So what we want to do is pull out here, get away from those flankers, give us time to turn in and fight out here in the open. To give us, so whenever you're doing a BVR fight, you've got to put everything in your, as we've talked about, everything in your favour. You've got to take the territory, the timing, the speed, the altitude, everything you want to force onto your terms. Don't be forced into canyon fights and stuff where the enemy will prefer to be. Anyway, that's that. Let's run that through. So we see Skadrecki turning round. We take this chance to turn in. We split at this point. We're in element 1 and element 2. Why are we doing that? Is so we can create an element chainsaw with element 1 at the front, element 2 at the back. Tender's lagging behind, but he'll catch up eventually, and he's part of element 1. Here's element 2. We want to create about 10 miles separation into us, so that when I take my shot, my first shot, I can then turn around, and these guys will be covering 10 miles behind. Let's see how far they are. Look, Jesus, look at that, 10 miles, 10 points. So that's how accurate we're getting it. It's really good stuff. Round the go. Okay. Tender's late. Tender should have really cut across. I suppose it doesn't really matter. Okay. So I've accepted. I'm on my own here. That's fine. We can deal with that. Skay is being a cheeky monkey. So what Skay is doing is, I think he originally came out here to do a mission of some kind. I don't know what. Bomb something. Saw that what we were coming for him, and then he's lured us back into the SAM net. That I couldn't see the SAM net. I did have a Nails uniform, but no actual SAM net on my RWR, so I don't know what SAMs they use. So it's going to be interesting when we get close, because I almost got shot by whatever SAM it was. So let's see what happened here. You see he's luring me over the base. He's dropped his bombs because he knows he's going to have to turn to air combat. At this point, what I want to do is put a crank on. So I'm engaging now. In fact, further back you can see, probably further back is when I started my crank. I want about 40 degrees, 30 to 40 degrees of crank on the right. If you want to know why we crank, we've got educational videos on the educational section. But essentially the cranking makes you invincible. It's something you have to do. It's non-negotiable. If I see any of my men fighting without a crank, they get a reprimand. Right, so let's see how this fight's about to go. See, but really aggressive crank there. I dropped something there. May have been my fuel tanks, I'm not sure. But I want to get maximum speed here, and you can see I'm up 700 knots. I want to get put everything in my favour here. I want to get my ideal altitude of Angels 20, my ideal speed of 750 knots. And I'm not going to turn in yet. Oh, yes I am. Turning in slightly early, but that's okay. I can see that the hostile is facing away, so he's no threat. So it does give me the option of turning in slightly early. I'm going to chase him down. At some point, I'm going to make the realisation that I can't win this. Now, that's interesting. This missile is fired. I don't know what that is. It's something I don't know. So it'd be nice to know what it is. Ural, that doesn't fire. SNR S125 track. So what is that? So I don't know what that's why I didn't understand what radar it was. I was getting a nails uniform from it. It's fired at 11 miles. So it's a long range weapon of some sort. Well, if anyone knows what that is, then let me know. 5B125. I really don't know what that is. Oh, it's an SA-18? I don't know what that weapon is. And so I've got no information on it. Obviously the SAM coverage dome isn't working. I guess the SAM coverage dome should be out, something like that. Right, anyway, so I've detected the threat of that missile being launched. So let's see me hopefully doing some good. Now the missile's been shot. See how quickly I roll over. Yeah, so pretty much as soon as that missile's out, I roll over and I'm at 8G already, 8G, 7G, over 600 knots, maintaining over 600 knots. So I didn't quite do the full 9G, but we're up to 8G and that was good enough. I haven't lost enough height. I don't know why I haven't gone down. So doing this, I'm supposed to lose height. It will help me a lot to lose height, which is why my speed's gone below 600. A little bit naughty. Okay, now I'm finally starting to lose some altitude. And I'm doing my wiggling. 7G. So I've beaten the missile a long time ago, but I'm not going to take any chance. 9G. 600 knots. So it was a bit ugly at the beginning, but we got it in the end. 8G. 8.5. Over 600 knots. And the missile never came near in the end. So it's a bit overkill, but I prefer to be safe than not. And then that's me safe because I don't know what I was fighting there. That's fine. Okay, at this point we decide this is a lost cause, and we realise that this is happening. Oh, the fight's happening, and that we've missed it basically. So next we have to turn around. So off we go. We're going to form. We've got to form back into our elements at this point. So let's see what happened. What went wrong here? So. I can already start to see what went wrong. It's 4 of us versus 2 flanking Su-30s, 2 Su-30s here, and 2 Su-33s. So, yeah, that's the flankers fight every day. I don't feel so bad about losing now. I thought, but let's see what. Let me tell you what we're supposed to be doing. So we're supposed to be coming back here. We're supposed to be getting our chainsaw pair. So that's Signorian King. You see, we're starting to warm up. Signorian King in element 2, Contender Cap in element 1. The idea was element 2 would head in. We don't even need to talk about this anymore. It's just something we've got engraved in our memory now. Element 2 would head in, fire the missiles at 10 miles or whatever is optimal for that particular altitude, range and aspect. Turn around on the overlap. Us 10 miles behind will come in, and then we'll start the chainsaw. That's team tactics. That's how we win in our team. It all broke down for some reason. I'm guessing it's going to be these flanking units. A flanking unit can completely destroy groups. Cohesion like this, so I imagine that's what it's going to be, but we'll see. That'll be interesting. Out comes Raptor to meet us, trying to work out what's going on. So it's a bit ugly. It's we've got 2 flanking elements in front. In fact, it only looks like we're fighting 3, so we should have won that. But for some reason our tactics broke down. So what happened? So Signore, I think, I'm not really sure what he's going for. He may be cranking someone, I'm not sure. He's not, no. So Signore appears has lost situational awareness. He's lost the idea of the threat being here on the right. Instead, he thinks the threat is here. Maybe he's got. No, I don't think this. I don't think he ever got Raptor on radar. These were too far to the right to really be. So I think all he got on his radar was him, and so he got a bit of fixation on him, and just didn't think about these guys. So there's a loss of tactical awareness. What we should have seen is element 2, which is King and Signore. Shouldn't have been going for these guys at all. They should have determined that these are the primary threat, and they should have turned right onto these, engaged these, but then we could have set up our chainsaw. But instead, our chainsaw is now broken, and our cohesion is completely broken. And at this point, it's every man for himself. They shouldn't have put themselves in a situation where these guys are firing on them from the right. And these are ETs, so they don't give any warning. You have to see them, but these guys aren't looking that way. So it's a really dangerous situation for these two to put themselves in, and going to get punished. King goes straight into an ET. It's not his fault for not seeing the missile because he wasn't prepared for the fight. These two should have been. So it is. It's element 2 cocked up. They should have realised the threat was here, and they should have gone for their threat. You can see these two. Element 1's got the right idea. They're going for the primary threat, but element 2 have now basically put themselves in a dogfight. By not realising where the attack was coming from. So we're just concentrating on element 2 for the first moment, and they've now put themselves into a flanking dogfight with these guys, or maybe not a dogfight, they're still 8 miles away, but they've lost all tactical initiative now. And like I said, it's broken down, every man for himself at this point. Signore's just turned away, running away, it's fine at this point. King... there's not a great deal he could do. King, if he had the choice, he should have turned Signore and turned away from the bad guys. Probably still would have died, but so King's down. To Raptor, Caps. So that was it. These guys. That was element 2. Let's go quickly back and have a look at element 1. So just trying to get that. So you got Cap and bad guys. Almighty shot from that guy there, fired a 20 plus mile ET at Cap. God knows why I'm going so slow. That's really strange. I don't know why I'm going so slow. That's very disappointing. What the hell's the matter with me? What am I doing? So I've lost awareness completely by the looks of it. I've just lost, I don't know, I'm not doing it right. Yep, that's an error there. Tender doesn't really have the luxury of not seeing that ET. He should have seen that ET square in the face. Just ran straight. He has a tendency to do this. Just going to run straight into that ET. Okay, Cap's finally got awareness at 15 miles or so. I'm turning on a crank. Let's do Cap first. Turning on a crank. Put my burners on, and I'm heading up to attack speed. By this point, I've no idea there's a bloody ET in the sky for me, which was a good 20 or something miles away. I can't see the distance from it. Where is he? Nah, yeah, that's turning in. I just didn't realise this ET was in the sky. I should have seen that, really. A missile out, and I didn't even get a chance to turn around. So there's a lot of shit going on here, I must say. So errors from Cap. I should have been 700 knots by now. I don't know why I was cruising at 400 knots. Bad error. Altitude good, speed bad, and that certainly didn't help things. I was also let's have a look at my. I was cranking too late. I was cranking at 15 miles, by which time there's already a shot out for me, and it just wasn't enough. By the time I turned in, that missile was on top of me. I was firing about 9 miles. The shot was good at 9 miles, but pow. So that was pretty crap. So to alleviate that, I need to have chosen a target before. I need to have gone 700 knots. I need to be cranking right out here at 30 miles, not at 15 miles. Everything was too late, and that's why I died. Too late and too slow, and that's why I died. Let's go and have a look at Tendon now. So I don't think Tender even... Let's have a look. So Tender speed wasn't particularly good either. 600, you want to be above 700. We really wanted to be in attack mode by now. It's better than mine at least. He wasn't cranking at all. Very, very lazy not to crank. You got to do it to stand a chance of beating these missiles. And again, same thing. Tender had a 20 mile shot on him from an ET. He had no idea it was coming. By this point, the rocket's burnt out on this ET and it's smokeless, so you can't see them. If you don't see them at the very beginning, that's it. You're not going to see them. He's going to put his shot in. Bloody hell, he put his shot in, if anything, a little bit too late. It should be 10 miles, but he never even would have, same as Cap, just hit straight away. As soon as he fired the missile, he was down into a split S, which is exactly right. Exactly what I should have done. Oh, he beat the missile. So as long as he split S's here, does his job, split S, turn around. It is not. Big error. So we all know we fire the missile and then we turn around. We fire a missile and then turn around. Fire the missile, turn around. Don't charge in. And the problem is if you don't turn around, you're going to put yourself in a dogfight with a flanker, and a flanker's going to win a dogfight. It's as simple as that. It's a 1 mile dogfight, and he's going to lose it, and he does. You've got to fire, turn around, and then your wingman, which unfortunately he was already dead at this point, your wingman is going to come and save you. So a complete lack of group coordination, complete destruction. It's such a shame to see. So one more look at it in brief. So the big problem was that element 1 was on task, although not doing very well. Element 2 here, they got the wrong idea. They didn't spot the threat, and they split the group in half, and that was the end of it at that point. We'd completely lost that, and they put themselves essentially in a flanking dogfight with these guys, and that was the end of that. And we weren't doing our job properly. We weren't going fast enough. We weren't cranking well enough, and we paid the price. And Tender didn't even turn around, so simple as that. So everything was done wrong there. So on the plus side, because of that horrible failure, Signori put himself in beast mode. So let's get ready to watch beast mode. He does this like Riddle. Every once a month he can turn himself into beast mode. So he's down to 700 knots. He's dodging missiles left and right, and he's fired. What's he fired at? This dude, an SU-30, who's strafing our base. It's no good. It's too far away. Let's carry on. Got Raptor chasing him still. Come on, beast mode. 5 miles on the deck on a flanking target. That is a kill. Pathetic evasive from that 30, and he dies, rightfully so. Oh dear, we've got a missile on us. 5 miles. And we've fired a AIM-9. I don't think that's going to hit anything, but don't know what that was at. Must have been a dead body or something. So why is he dodging this missile? Because of his speed. Nearly 700 knots. Speed saves lives. Speed is everything. And his speed is winning. It's allowed him to escape Raptor. These guys are still getting strafed by Su-30s. Signori back in combat. Still 700 knots. Hasn't slowed down. Great show. Fires a missile. AIM-9 misses. We're going too fast now. Dogfight. So we're now 2,000 feet. Is that shot going to hit? Probably. Nice. So let's have a look at that merge. That's a tough merge. Is that to burn off a lot of speed very quickly? So he's coming at a 90-degree aspect to this guy. Missile out's going to miss, obviously. And he's had to burn down 700, 500. So he's had to do a kind of lag onto him. It's really, yeah, it's good, really good. And he's down to the guy's speed of 480 knots already. So he can let them get away now. Perfect aspect for an AIM-9. Beautiful kill. Very nice. Let's continue the beast mode. Now we get problematic because we've lost all our energy now. We're going to struggle to fight. And we've got an ER coming within 3.6 miles. That is a kill shot. So how Signori survived this, I don't know. Have to do something about... Oh, it hit the ground. Raptor was too low. I can live with that. So they're going to have to go for short-range missiles now because they're so low. Signori's burnt his speed off. Come on, gotta speed up. Gotta speed up. That is a 73 at 2.3 miles. That's probably just within kill limits, especially from what we've seen from this missile. So he's got to be real freaking careful now. Doesn't get a warning from this missile. Yep, so he's just burnt it. And he's doing that because he's away and he's going fast enough. All those things allow him to beat that missile. So it's pretty much a clean FFE now, full burn. Unfortunately, Raptor is now coming in, and he can easily R73 if he's got... Okay, Raptor must be out of weapons. So let's see how we're going to have this fight. So, Raptor versus Beast Mode Signore. It's going to be interesting. 2,500 feet, both at exactly the same speed. Flanker versus F-15. This is Flanker's fight every day, really, but let's see what happens. Minor yo-yo from Signore, nothing special yet. Alpha's 13, nothing special. Raptor's closing for guns is a lovely pursuit. It's just a straight-on pursuit here, no lead, no lag. Bit of lag around that corner, and that was the move, I think, there. Signore has just... Let's just go back and have a look at that. Split that to half down, and the Alpha comes... Signore puts the Alpha on up to 35 degrees Alpha, adding G on. Went up to about 7G there. Raptor 7G to suit. Alpha is a bit less, so it's going for turning it into a bit more of a lag turn. High speed, so Signore is essentially brake checking. And Raptor has fallen for it. And the yo-yo there. So look at that. Lovely. So Signore basically yanked on the brakes there. Up to maximum Alpha to slow his jet down to less than 300 knots. And Raptor just fell for the bait. Raptor tried to keep his speed, which is great. You should do that in a dogfight. But you've got to just watch out for the bad guy or the opposing guy, because the opposing guy can brake check you. And that was a classic brake check. So what Signore did there was A, kept his eye on the target at all times. You can see how he's inverted himself to keep his eye on the target. B, lost as much speed as he can, hoping that the other guy will fly right by. And he did. Absolutely beautiful. And it's very hard for Raptor to do anything about this at this point, because he's got 100 knots of speed deficit. So he's got to scrub that speed off if he wants to get behind the 15, which is pretty much not possible now unless you do a Cobra or something. So let's see what happens now. And they're now essentially in vertical scissors, but Signore now has the advantage. Beautiful turn. Look at that. Sweet turn from Signore. Down to 250 knots. He's on the stall now. He's on the stall. At this point, his jet's very hard to control, if any control at all. 42 degrees Alpha. I've never seen an F-15 do that before. So essentially he's pointing up like that, but his aircraft is moving like that. So he's got pretty much no control of his aircraft at this point. Put it into a big stall. That's what he has to do. And Raptor's stayed in more control of his jet. Got down to 300, but he is in front. So you've got one jet that's behind, out of control. One jet's in control, but in front. So tough place to be now. No hits from Signore, and that's expected. Like I said, he had no control of that jet. 196 knots, you're essentially just trying to keep in the sky. So burners on. Just a second there. You see that second? It's just a second. Allowed the plane to start dripping off of the Alpha and getting a little bit more speed in. Back on the Alpha. I don't think he's... Maybe could have gone to a bit more lag there. But he's back on the Alpha, trying to keep a straight on pursuit. It's going to drop his speed back down again, though, so it's dangerous. Got to be careful now. I'm guessing he's out of aim 9s, because that'll be a lovely aim 9 shot there. Gets his aspect real nice there. Speed's increased a tiny bit. He's off the Alpha now, down to 18, and F-15 can handle 18 degrees Alpha. Raptor's just... I don't think he knows what to do at this point. And just spraying. And it's a good gun. It's a shotgun this plane has, so it's a real good for spraying at this kind of range. And that is a kill. You see, Signore's got his bled off that Alpha, and he's added plenty of speed. He's just fought a better fight. And that's probably Raptor out. Yeah, that's Raptor out. Really good kill there. Really good brake check. Really good control. Really good situational awareness, not to lose. And then, because Signore is Signore, and there's only one human like him in the world, he then just goes crashes into the bloody jet. So that's that. I don't think we'll see any more of him today. And that's that. That's everything done. So lovely beast mode, but beast mode we can't plan with beast mode. What we can plan with is team tactics, and the team tactics were awful. So I'll post that to the boys, and hopefully we'll improve for next time. That's everything done now. A miserable mission, but we'll try again and see if we do better. Then again, bloody hell, it was really up against us. We had, what, 4 Su-30s to fight against, and 5 Su-33s, or 4? We were never going to win that. That was always going to be a red win with those, and a non-working SAM. We're going to lose this every day. So, never mind. these things happen, and we'll see you later.